Okay, yesterday we were doing on colors and gradient. Okay, because both of them are colors, and we have done particularly on shapes, but we have not done or we have not tested the gradient on text. Okay, which is also essential. So for that, let me type the text. Not this one. I'll just type normal text, maybe text coloring. Okay, so out here, if you're wondering how I have increased the text size, I've used the shortcut that is Control plus Shift plus this sign. Okay, so this one is used for increasing. For decreasing, it'll just be this less than sign. So when I use these two, if I use this one, this first shortcut, Control Shift and greater than sign, then I can increase the text. Once you have clicked the text box, you can also decrease that. That's what I have used. Okay, the shortcuts. Anyway, to do the coloring, you know that the normal coloring can be done like this. Fine, that is okay. But what about the gradient? If I click here, it just becomes black. It doesn't become a gradient. Now, if I click here and then start coloring, and then even if I change, no matter how much I change this one, it doesn't become a gradient. Okay, see, it's not becoming a gradient. So that's an issue which you are going to face. And for that, there is an option, and that option is that you need to turn on another panel. Okay, and that panel is every panel can be turned on from, not every, most of the panels, okay, can be turned on from the window here. Okay, okay. So from the window, if you see this one, that is appearance. Okay, click on that, and out here you can see the fill color is there. Okay, now this appearance, if you apply any effects, okay, so starting from way down in the bottom of this dialog box, you can see that here we have added new stroke, added new fill color, and add some effects. Okay, so this is appearance is mostly for you to show the information that you have done something on a text or a shape. Okay, so on that shape you will have you can have in here in here, I don't know what I have put, but you can, if I click here, you can see the options. If I click here, you can see the options. Okay, but what you need to do is here I'm going to put a fill color, and that fill color, if I click here, I have this one, the fill color is here, fine. But the fill type, if I click on the gradient type, now you can see that we have added a gradient. Okay, so once more I will tell you, if you're going to add a gradient to your text, okay, then if I use this option, then it doesn't work. Okay, so what is the solution? The solution is that you need to go to window and you need to turn on the appearance. From the appearance, you can see that fill is already there. Fine. But this one does not give me a gradient. So I can click on that and delete it by dropping on the this bin. Okay. So after that, I can start a new fill color, and here within that fill option, you select the gradient. Now, once you have applied the gradient, then now you can edit that gradient. If I press G, I have this option to edit the gradient. Similarly, that we have applied to the shapes also. Here in the gradient option, you can apply whatever or however you have done in that shape gradient filling types. Okay, so here we have done it for the shapes. Today we're talking about the text. It's going to be the same. Okay, so here if I double click, I'm able to select a color. If I click here, double click here, I'm able to select another color. Okay, so which I can change the location for that. Okay, now if I click here, I am able to change another color. That is, let's say something like this. Okay. So that kind of gradient can be added to the text by using the appearance panel. Okay. All right. So that is what we have missed out yesterday. For today, I will be talking about. I will be discussing about this uh, anchor point and pen tool. That is, if I make any shape, it can be a rectangle. I'm going to change this one to this color, and I'll add a stroke so that you can see more about anchor points. And I'll draw an ellipse just to see the differences. Okay, so in every shape that you make, okay, every shape that you make, it consists of some points. Because of some points only, it is a shape. Okay, what are those points? Those points are called the anchor points. Here you have the anchor point here, 2, 3, and 4. What about in the circle? So around the circle also, it is made up of some anchor point. But if you have observed here, the anchor point is quite different, and here the anchor point is quite different. How they are different? Here, you don't see some lines here. If I click here, you can see that there are some lines, this line and then this line, right? And but in this case, we don't have that line. Why? Because we call this point as a corner point, and we call this one as a fixed point. Okay, sorry, this one as a corner point and this one as a smooth point, smooth. Okay, and sometimes I like to call this one as a corner point and this one as a curve point. Because of this only, I'm getting all these curves here. Okay, so here to edit the anchor point, you must be using the direct selection tool. Okay, now when you have a lot of anchor points, then you can use this group selection tool, which means if I click here, all the anchor points will be selected. If I click here, all the anchor points will be selected. Okay, we might use that one, but most often we will be using this one only, that is direct selection tool. So using direct selection tool, you'll be able to edit or move the anchor points, okay? Or even in this case, in the smooth anchor point, you have this handle or this point. You can edit the point. You can also use this handle to edit the curves, okay? So this side, these two are, if you look carefully, these two are related in the form like, if I move this one is also moving. Okay, if I move this one is also moving. So there is a way in which you can move them independently. Okay, they are dependent to each other now. They are moving together. But if I want to move them independently, then what will I do? I will be, uh, I will go to this pen tool, and here you can see that this anchor point tool. Actually, this one is convert anchor point tool, which you might have seen in Photoshop also. So using this one, you can move the other point independently. Okay. So that option will also allow you to convert the points. What kind of conversion? If I click here once, you can see that this one has converted to something else. How is it different now? Because around it, you cannot see the handle anymore because it's a corner point now. Now, if I click here, it is no longer again, it's not becoming that smooth point. How do you make it smooth point again? You have to click once and drag it somewhere. Okay, either left or right. Okay, now that option you'll also find it, converting that option you will find it in the properties panel. Also here you can see that convert option is there, where I can convert it to smooth point. You can see that it is the handle has come out. Okay, and if I want to convert it to corner point, then you can still select here. Okay, in this case also, if I want to convert this corner point into curves, I'll be clicking here or using this convert anchor point tool, I can convert it into curves like this. Okay, so those are the editing parts when it comes to anchor points. Now, fine, I've edited the anchor points, but what about if I want to add or delete? Okay, that option will be easier for you to edit when you do when you right click and then check the pen tool. Okay, so here it says plus and minus are there. Okay, so let's see if I press plus sign, so you can see that P is for pen tool, plus is for adding anchor point, minus is for deleting the anchor point, and the last one shift C. But shift C I don't remember that much. I just like to use the one which is coming out in this properties panel because this is enough for me. Okay. Okay, so let's see how I can edit this one. There are two ways you can add the anchor point. First of all, just normal click. And if I just do the normal click, it adds a corner point. Now, what about if I click and, sorry. Okay. Now, see, in the case of the Photoshop, and then these, what do you call it? And other Adobe systems, you'll find that if I click and then drag down here, and even in the later versions of Illustrator also, if I click and drag it down, it will be converted to curves. Okay, but in this case, they have given the shortcut for converting into curve, so that option will depend on where you click your anchor point. Well, I mean where you click your pen tool. So suppose, see, what I am trying to say is this around it, this and this, these two are fixed points, or we call this one as the corner points. So if I click this one corner point will be created. This is a corner point. But if I click here, this is a curve. So if I click or add an anchor point here, you will find that what I have added just now is a curve or a smooth point. Okay, so it depends on where you click your pen tool. Okay, the add anchor point tool, wherever you click it, it depends on that area. Okay, so that is how you can add that anchor point. Now remember, deleting and removing is quite different when it comes to anchor points. So this one is delete. Now if I right click, I mean if I just do normal click, I'm deleting the anchor point. If I click here, I'm deleting the anchor point. Fine. But what if I select this point and press my delete key? Okay, so that is removing. I have removed the path also. Okay, so that because of that point only, these two were joined. Now, if I directly delete this one, that means you are removing the joint between these two, or you are directly deleting a connection of path. Okay, so it's quite different. If I use this tool, actually I'm deleting. If I use the direct selection tool, select the point and delete it, means I am fully removing the path connection. Okay, so don't forget or don't make the mistake of just deleting it unless it is very much necessary. Okay. Okay, so that is some basics about the anchor point and pen tool. Now, that was mostly about the pen tool, but when it comes to anchor point, when it comes to pen tool, we are going to create a particularly new shape by using the pen tool. Okay, so using the pen tool, right? Using the pen tool, we can create a new path. Like it can be a closed path like this, or it can be an open path. So from here to here, like this. Okay. So in this case, what I have done just now is from here to here, it's just a straight line. Here to here, it's just a straight line. You're coming out the fill color because I have added the fill color. Okay. So let's remove the fill color. And if I start new one, so like this, so you're gonna see the fill color now. Okay, so what I have made just now is a closed path. Now what if I make an open path? Okay, So I don't know how to end this one. This line is still following the pen tool. Okay, so in those cases, if you need just not the if you need an open path, then you do like this. It's still following. So how do I end this one? Okay, you press enter key. Okay, if you hit enter, and then it will stop here. Okay, so 1 2 3 4, anywhere you click, and then if you want to stop it, hit enter. Okay, now for creating the close path, you observe that you have to go back to the starting point, and then when that small round figure comes out in your pen tool, that means it's the joining or going back to the starting point, and then you have a closed loop or you have a closed shape, okay, or closed path. All right, okay, that is for the corner point. Now for the curves, remember the pen tool can have the normal pen tool curves where I can select like this and I can create a curve like this. Okay, so how did I create that one? I have ended here. Now if I want to curve something like this, okay, if I want a curve like this, then I'll be clicking on the next point, but do not release the mouse and pull it down or up. Okay, so pulling down will be appropriate for this one. So here I have a curve. Okay, so once you have added the point, do not release the mouse. You can drag up and down to get the required curve. Okay, another point is if I go back and join here, then you're still getting a curve here, but I did not want that one. I need a straight line here. Okay, from here to here I need a straight line, and more often we'll be using this anchor point, adding, removing, creating a new shape. We'll be using these anchor points in most of our artworks. Okay, so for that it is very much needed. Okay, anyway, so I was saying from here to here I need a straight line, not this curve. So how do I make it a straight line? Because if I go from here to here, it's coming out to be a curve in that preview. So if you want a straight line, click on that point once again, and then you will see that that handle is gone. That means the next line that is coming out will be a straight line. Once again, from here to here, until now it's a fixed or corner points, but if you need a curve or smooth point, you have to click the mouse and drag it like this. And then if you want next line to be straight line again, click back to that point again, and you continue it like this. Okay, so here it has it is involved with corner point and then the smooth points. So here these are the corner points and this is the smooth point, this and this. Okay, especially this one, because of this only we have created that. Okay, now here there is another way of creating curves, and that one looks like a pen tool. You can observe that one from here. This means, okay, from here using this tool, that is free transform tool or freeform tool. Okay, so this free form or the curvature tool allows you to make curves. So the way it works is like this. You need at least 3 points for one curve. So those 3 points are starting from here. If I click one more here, and then if I bring it down to this direction, so you can see the preview, it will become like this. Okay, so if I hit enter, it doesn't end. Okay, so what I can do is I can just directly go and click on this selection tool, and then it will be ended like this. Okay, so those are the curves that you can draw using this one or this one. If I want a curve using the pen tool, you'll be clicking here, and then you'll be clicking in the end, okay, or the ending line of the curve, and then you can drag and make it something like this. But remember, most of the curves are made up of 3 points. Then only it's more, or then only it's better, okay? Because you can see it's not a proper curve. So I can add one more point here from which I can edit the curves, okay? So for that reason, you can see that this one has 3 points, 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, so those are some of um, the tips that you need to know about making some curves or straight lines or a complete loop using the pen tool. Okay, so for your practice, I will just draw a structure. Okay, looking at which you can try it by yourself. All right, so I'll make a simple structure, okay, where it will involve both the corner point and smooth point. All right, I think I have selected a large. Okay, one will do. Right, from here, I'll draw something like this. Okay, and this one, maybe I need fill color like this. Okay, so here, if you have observed that, I've started from here. Okay, 1, 2, and went all the way up here, and from there I join back to the starting. Okay, so that is my first structure through which you can practice. Even if you have made a mistake doing this one, it is okay because you can still edit it by using the direct selection tool. So here you have that one. Okay, and remember before I proceed to the next structure. Okay. Okay. Anyway, I'll just continue. We'll have short time. All right. Next structure, I will continue with. Okay. So here in this structure, I want to bring out this one also, something that involves curves. Okay. So from here to here, I need a curve. So from this point till here, I will assume that this is where I need it. Okay. I'll click and drag it down like this. And then I will click here once again, okay? Because if I don't click here, my next line is going to be a curve, and I need a straight line. So I'm going to click here, and then okay. So I'm not able to see the preview, but that's okay. I can still use the selection tool and edit the point, okay? And then I'll go back and join to the starting. Now this one, I'm going to change the color, something like this, okay? And for the people, for the students who have missed the starting part of the classes, we have done something about right click and arrange. So in this arrange, we can send the object to the front or send the object to the back side or bring the front. Okay, so in this arrange, you can see bring the front or send the back is there. And I also told you that we'll be using more of the shortcuts here. So when I do this, remember when I do this one, remember I have used the shortcuts for sending it to the back side. Okay, all right, so that is one of it. Now here, this one was just fixed point. Here it had fixed point or the corner point as well as the smooth points were there. Now I want something which can be done just with shapes. Okay. Here also there is something that you need to learn. I'm going to do something like this. Okay, that is black in color. And how did I do that one is pressing Shift X. Okay, just exchanging between the colors of stroke and fill. Okay, so here, remember this anchor point makes up your shape. So if it makes your shape, then what you can also do with direct selection tool is that it doesn't mean only that you can only edit the points only. It is also used for editing the path also, these lines. Okay, you can also edit these lines. Right, remember it's not only for the points. You can also click on the line and you can also edit those lines. Okay, so I've edited that part and I will bring one more copy of this one. Making a copy is same as your Photoshop, that is using Alt key, and I can use this line again for editing like this. Okay, if you want to edit more, yes, obviously you can do that using the anchor points. Okay, right. So this is just a simple structure which you can practice it for getting to know more about the anchor points as well as the pen tool. Every structure I have created with pen tool, but if in case if you are more comfortable drawing with or making the structure with these shapes, then you can also do that. So suppose if I have a rectangle like this and I can still rotate it, right? And then maybe I can bring this point somewhere here, and this point I can bring it down like this. So if you want to draw it with rectangle also, it is okay, because even this bigger structure, that structure can also be done with rectangle. Let's suppose I want to change the color. Okay, so if I rotate this one, then I have option to add and remove your anchor point. Okay, so if you want to practice more about that, I think you can try with both of them using the pen tool only, and another one using the shapes. So here, if I out in this area, I need a curve. So I'll click here once, and then I'll transform it into or convert it into smooth point. And if I do that, I'll be able to edit this curve like this. Okay. So here in this area, if you go near more the point, it will become more sharp. Okay. And if I go away from the point, it will become more blunt. Okay. So it's like that. And after that, remember, for every inset that goes inside here, for example, this one, okay, remember you need 3 points. Okay, you need 3 points for every inset that goes near the center. Then you need 3 points, 1, 2, and then 3. And then you, sorry, I'll be adding the points. So I need to select this, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, and you'll be tracking down the middle one. Okay, so for every inset, you'll be doing that one, 1, 2, 3, and then bring down the middle one. Okay, so like that also you can create this same figure using your shapes also. That is your rectangles, maybe circles also. It's up to your own convenience. Okay, whichever the shape you use. So what I suggest you is I want you to try this one with the pen tool only, and try this one, the same figure using some shapes. Okay, but rectangle might be the only shape that you'll be using for drawing this figure. All right, so that is all about the anchor point. If we need more about it, we'll be doing that one in the next classes. Okay, in the next class, maybe we'll do about this transform. Okay, because right here we have lots of options for transform, which will be using for logo designs and all. Okay, not only for logo design, most of the time you'll be needing this one also. Because right here also I haven't used the transform. I can use the transform here also, but for that you need to be clear about that. That's why I haven't done it using the transform tool. Okay. Anyway, we'll do that in the next class about the transform tool. Okay. All right. So any doubts that you want to clear out before we wind up the class?
No, sir.
Okay. Others?
No, sir.